Okay guys, so we have another build for you today. This is going to be my new computer. So first off, I'm just going to introduce all the parts. For a case, we have a Cooler Master CM693. This comes with the Sadon 120V. It's a very nice case. All the reviews I've seen of it, I have to say I like. They've all said good things. For an APU, I have an AMD A8 5600K. For a power supply, we have a CX600 by Corsair. It should go in the front of the case to take out the fan that comes with it. We have two Enermax TB Vegas blue LED fans. They call them dancing LED fans, and I have a spare fan here if I need it. For extra storage space, because I am reusing a 500 gigabyte hard drive from my old computer, I have a Western Digital Blue 1TB drive. Now for a motherboard, I have an Asus A85M LE and an OEM copy of Windows 8. Now for the thermal paste for the Sadon, I have Cooler Master High Performance Thermal Paste. A few fan extensions if I need them, and just your normal optic drive, DVD rewriter and burner. And I'm also reusing my G-Skill Ripjaw 4GB RAM. Okay, so here's our case. Cooler Master CM693. It's a very broad case. Well, compared to my old Aerocool case, it's very broad. Up at the top here, we have a panel. We slide off, and you see we have a bay for keeping anything we want in. 2 USB 2, 2 USB 3. You have your microphone and headphone, power button, reset switch. And we have a removable dust filter up here with a thumb screw at the back. Here. There we go. So as you can see, this case is quite good for water cooling. Now, as you can see, we have a tinted acrylic window. Peel off this plastic now. The sides slide off very easily. There we go. Now you can perfectly see through our window. In here we have the Sadon one. We have the Sadon 120V water cooler, all-in-one water cooler. The cooling block is copper. and it comes with a normal 120mm radiator. On the side, you see, this is quite a roomy case for a mid-tower. A hard drive bays, one of the best designs I've seen in quite a while. This supports up to 10 SSDs, which is pretty good. Down here we have all our screws and everything we need. So we have quite a long motherboard speaker, a few cable ties, we have our standoffs, our screws, and that's pretty much it. Inside. Now getting on to the other side. Okay, so now we're just going to take off the other side panel. As you can see, we do have rubber grommets to make cable management a little bit easier, a little bit tidier. And of course, the side panel itself comes out towards the back of the case to allow more cable management. Now, all the front I/O are already routed through and cable tied up here. Take off the cable ties that secure the water cooler in place during shipping. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm just kind of thinking about where I'm going to put my water cooler. I could rear mount it, or I could mount it on the top. Now, what I think is the tubes would look a little bit cleaner if I had it on the top, as they would come out and just go into the CPU here, rather than having to come down or up around like that. And if I have a window and this is very like for display kind of PC, I really want it to look clean. So I'm leaning towards a top mounted water cooler at the moment. And of course, if I ever want to do push-pull, I have that that separate fan. Now I'm going to remove the front bezel, and I'm going to remove the giant fan in the front of the case. It's just little retention clips here. There you go, it comes straight off. As you can see, the dust filter in there. And I'm going to remove the fan. And there is our giant front fan removed. It's the same size as my face. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the drive bay for the SSDs. Now, I personally don't have any SSDs at all, so I'm going to remove that. And also because I'm using two 120mm fans in the front, and I want as good airflow as possible, so I'm going to remove this for the top fan to push air straight through. So remove these first. I'll show you these again. Pull them out for a 3.5, and then to put the 3.5 in, you literally just pull it out again, slot it in, and then put it back. There's one side out. The other side. And now, as you can see, the fan that's going to be here will have no restriction of airflow at all towards the motherboard for this fan to bring it across. Okay, so now we have my case on its side. We are going to install the motherboard so we can put in the back plate for the Sidon 120V. Here's just the bag you get with the case. It has all your screws and everything. As a motherboard speaker, as you can see, cable ties, a few rubber grommets, and I also have a separate bag of more cable ties in case we need them. A spare rubber grommets, 2 of them. Cable ties. And we get a bag with all our screws in it and our standoffs. Just put it there. And our strangely long, you don't usually see them this long, motherboard speaker. As you can see, it just says speaker there. I'll put this down here. I'm not sure if I'll use it. I probably will. And then we have a few other little screws for different purposes. All I need for the moment is that little bag of standoffs and other screws. So here we have our standoffs. My motherboard is micro ATX, so it needs 6 standoffs. There are 2 pre-installed when the case comes, and I'm going to show you putting one in, even though you can't really see it because my hand's practically in the way the entire time. Hand tighten it there. And I'm going to do the rest off camera because, as you saw, my hand gets in the way a lot. Okay, so here's my motherboard. It is the Asus A85MLE. Windows 8 ready, which is good because I use Windows 8. It is overclockable, which is good because I have a water cooler, USB 3, USB 3. HDMI. Two things that my old motherboard didn't have. Has eSATA. Two USB 3 on the back. Two USB 2. Well, actually 4 USB 2. VGA, DVI, PS2 port. We have an Ethernet port, and your audio and your mic. Now we're going to remove the back plate and the brackets, because I have my new Ceylon water cooler. You can see we have both an Intel and an AMD bracket for it to go on, and it comes with its own little tube of thermal paste, if you can just see through the bag there. So we're going to take off the back plate now. I'll probably do it off camera, and the brackets, and I'll be right back. So I've actually decided I will do it on camera. Literally just 4 screws. One bracket. And there's our second bracket off. And there's our back plate off. So here you see we have our 4 holes and the new back plate. As you can see, this side says AMD. I don't know if you can make that out. And flip it over, this side says Intel. So we're going to put it on this way, and then well, this is universal, so this will work for AMD and Intel, obviously, because it says both of them. And then we have 2 brackets in here. One is Intel, one is AMD. So let's take these out before I do anything. And then we have a few of the screws in there. So now we're gonna prep our back plate. So I'm gonna have the AMD symbol facing up, and I'm going to screws down through here. Now we have little clips here that are going to go over like that, and are going to keep the screws nice and tight. and our last one. And there we go. Our backplate is prepped. Now, so now I'm just going to install our motherboard. Right, so there's a motherboard in. As you can see, the rear I/O are snug in their sockets. And now I just have to screw down the motherboard. There's one. I'll do this one and then I'll do the rest off camera. Right now, although you've just seen me put the motherboard in, I had to take it back out because, as you can see, the bracket actually goes behind the cutout. Now, if this was a little bit bigger, you'd just be able to place it straight on. But then again, I guess that's for holding it on, because that can't fall out now unless somehow these screws come loose, which is not going to happen with those clips on. So we have our bracket here, and I also made like a pillow out of some packing foam and a bit of bubble wrap. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this down there. That's just going to go down like that. And as I said before, my radiator is going to go up here, pushing air out. Now I'm going to get my motherboard. And I am just going to line up these holes. Okay, so I'm gonna take out the top bezel because I need to mount my radiator. Just pull it straight out. Now I'm going to have my my radiator mounted here with the fan underneath it, pushing air out. So, as we're going to have air pushing out, that means when air comes in, the exhaust fans, which is the radiator and this fan, it's going to bring the air across the motherboard and up, which means it's going to cool pretty much everything. Now, I could put the spare fan I have, the spare plain black one, here, pulling air in, up over my RAM, or I could have it pulling in here. But the problem with that would be when air exhausts out of my radiator, it would just make a constant circle, and also inside the case. It'd probably split it both ways to push it like that. So I just have a constant circle happening with air, and well, it could possibly have a warm air coming out and going straight back in, so there's no point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount that spare black fan down here, bringing air up in, just to get pretty much as much airflow as possible. So as you can see behind here, well under here really, there's a dust filter, So what you're going to do is, if you see here, that's a little clip, which means I cannot just pull that out. If you pull it down and out, it releases the clip. Okay, it comes straight out. And as you saw, it does actually cover both holes, one for the power supply and one for a fan if you need it. There we go. Right, so here we have the Sato 120V. As you can see, here's the fan that's going to push air through our radiator. Now, usually you can tell how good a radiator is, how wide the fins are, if you can see practically straight through it. Now, it's kind of hard to see straight through it, but you can. So it's not too bad a radiator. It means a lot of air is going to easily push through it. The less fins per inch means the lower the speed fans you're going to need, which means you don't have to spend all your money on better fans, if you know what I mean. That's mainly if you're doing a custom loop, but never mind with this. And here I have my spare fan, which I'm going to mount down here, pulling air in up over my motherboard. And I'm going to go ahead and see which way I want my. So when this fan is here, this is going to be a straight line of air right up into my radiator, which I'm actually going to mount in this side, not here, because I'm not happy it's too close to the exhaust fan. So if I was to put it here, I should be able to route my my hoses around like that, and you're not going to see these two hoses kind of crowding up the case. So it will look quite nice. Also, it'll give better airflow, and I personally just like it. So as you see, we have this screw in. Now I'm just going to show you putting the rest of them in. So these screws are going to go straight through the radiator and screw into straight through the fan, sorry, and into the radiator. And then that radiator is going to mount up here. There's going to be screws that go in here into the radiator. Now make sure you use the long black screws that you get with this for the radiator. So we're just about to mount the radiator in the case. So I'm going to. By the way, we are pushing air through the radiator. Okay, so there's we have one screw in already. Now we're just mounting the rest. This one. And now the last one. There we go. We have our radiator installed. Now it's going to push air up through the through the radiator and out. So here we have our spare fan. These are literally cheap, like €4 fans. This is going to just go here, down here, which means we're going to have straight airflow straight up and into our radiator, cooling our water for the CPU. Now the block itself is going to rotate around like this in there. Just gives it a direct route and they're not bent too much. So here we see, here's our fan and our radiator, perfect amount of clearance, and we have our bracket on our CPU block. Now we just need to put in our actual CPU. So if we get my A8 5600K, this. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a little triangle there, right there, and there is a triangle on the processor. So this is going to go in there. Clip comes back down, and there is our A8 5600K installed. Okay, now we're going to put on our Cooler Master High Performance Thermal Paste. We could use the thermal paste that comes with the Ceylon 120V, but this is high performance, so I'm going to use this. That much. Now I'm going to spread it a small bit. So here's our CPU block. Sorry if you can't really see this properly. Put on this bracket, push it down, and also we have to take off this. You have to remember to take this off, or else it will practically melt, especially when you have your processor under load during gaming or whatever, especially with an APU. And you don't touch the copper, and if I try and route this a good way, let me see. Could just mount it like this. Now we get our little nuts. So we're gonna install this fan now, and if you see here, this arrow going this way means the fans spin this way, and the arrow pointing this way, which means that the air comes, like, the air comes from the outside this way. So I'm going to install this here, but the problem with that is we're going to be using these they're like a toolless design. These create a lot of noise. A lot of vibration equals a lot of noise, and we have these which are vibration dampening little kind of grommets. So these are going to go over here. Pull one off. Oh, there's one on. One here. So as I've mentioned, or as I've done, we have our grommets here. Now this fan is going to be going on here. Said all this before, and the lead is going to be put out through this grommet. Now I'm not going to put this in until I have my power supply in, so I can check the room, make sure that it actually fits. So I'm gonna put it here. Now that will actually fit very nicely. To get my screws. Right, so I'm on my last screw now. And there is our power supply installed. So the fan is under here, which means it sucks air up from the bottom and blows air out from the back. And this power supply only really turns on if it needs to, like the fan only turns on if it needs to. It's rated an 80 plus bronze power supply, which means it is quite efficient. And only under load will it actually turn on the fan to cool itself down. So I have all my power supply leads out of the way. Now it is time to install the fan. What I need to do is, the dust filter is already out. Just need to line this up, push the lead through now. Okay, so we have one of these in. I just need the rest to go through. The only reason I did that one off camera is just so I could have the rest steady. Just another one. Another one, and now we have the last one. So as you can see, I have them all in. I'm just going to take my scissors now, and I'm going to take off a bit of them because I don't want them sticking up in the view. So now I have my front I/O here. I'm going to spring them out the back because all the cabling is going to be going around the back. Of course, unless it can't reach. But everything's going to stay out the back for now. So as you can see, I have my 500 gigabyte hard drive in. This is going to be my boot drive, and then I have 1 terabyte storage. Now, what I'm going to do is just going to push this down and out. So it's a little bit wider than normal. Hard drive is going to go on, and if you can see in there, these are going to go into the holes. Back up. Then you literally just close it back together and it's in. It's not going anywhere. Pinch these together and push it in. There we go. Both hard drives locked in place. So you can see that the SATAs are not on this side. So if I just turn my case around, you can see here that the setters are here, so all the cables are going to come out the back and go into these grommets wherever it suits them best. So as you can see here, we have one of my Enermax TB Vegas blue dancing LED fans. I recently did an unboxing of this. This is why this one's out of the box, but I still have one of them that is in the box. So now we are going to mount both Enermax TB Vegas fans in here. Now, as you can see, we have these little like toolless mounts, almost like what we use for this. And each fan comes with a fan header to Molex, which I'm going to be using Molex because I just prefer Molex. They speed them up more. They use full power. So what I'm going to do is to open one of these and put them out on the desk. Okay, so here we have my Enermax TB Vegas fans installed. As you can see, we have the leads routed out through the side, nice and neat, and we have the buttons to control what the LEDs do here. And these come with actually come with double-sided tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick down the buttons somewhere there. So there is that. Now I'm just going to stick that down here. And get my other pieces of double-sided tape. That is really hard to get the covers off. So you see the back of it. There we go. And now I don't have to have these leads dangling around the case. When I want to change what the LEDs do, take off the side panel and just accordingly whatever I want to do. And also here, this is not a place for a drive, so I'm not taking up space for a hard drive. That's just extra space, just a little place there. So now I'm going to install my optic drive. So I'm going to put it in the very top one. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to do that, simple as. Now to put my front bezel back on. Now just get a shot of the side there. You'll see that when I push this in, it's going to lock itself into place, and then the quick release is just push that in, straight out. And not only is this not going anywhere, but it's just so easy to get out as well. You don't need to undo screws constantly, and that is absolutely flush. Look, it looks quite nice there actually. Okay, so now I'm going to put my top bezel back on. Get all the leads out of the way. Now we'll just it's hard to get a good grip of it because you can't like grip up here. There, not going anywhere, and you can see it's finally coming together. So I've decided that all the fans that I want doing a lot of work, which is the one that's on the radiator and the two at the front, are all going to be powered through Molex. Now, see here and up here, we have the rear fan powered through the fan connector, and then there's two fan connectors up here. We have the rear fan going up with a fan extension to here, and then we have this going out there, cable tied at the back, and put in here to the CPU fan. Just gotta put in my RAM now before I forget to do it. There we go. So I'm going to plug in my 4-pin and my 24-pin now. I start off with my 24-pin. It's gonna come in up here. Now I need to go. And now my 4-pin. Oh. Now if you see this is actually a 8-pin that splits into 2 4s. Now the hole around here is quite small, and I'm not going to be able to get both heads through that. There. Now I have this, which is a 4-pin extender, which means I can put it onto the 4-pin part of this, and then bring this up and into the motherboard. So open this. What does this go into? There we go. So this is going to come up here. So I've actually switched my hard drives around. My 500 is now on the top and my 1 terabyte is now on the bottom. So now we're just going to hook up our SATAs. So I have to work out is, do I want the right angles going to the motherboard or not? Because I'm just thinking they might get in the way of each other if I put them here. So I'll put this right here and see what it looks like if I put the right angle into the motherboard. Just turn it a little bit. Oh. And now I'll put in the 1 terabyte. Yeah, I know what I'm doing now. And now I'm not going to hook up my 1 terabyte one yet, because I just want my boot drive hooked up at the moment. I'll bring it through, and I'll just leave it hanging there. So now we have to hook up the SATA to the optic drive. what I'm going to do is I'm going to just here, and now I'm going to bring it out with this one. There we go. Here. And in here to that one, and we can cable tie it at the back. I'll do my setup power now as well. Now before I hook up my setup power, I just want to point out that I have actually left this one blank, because this is for my 1TB drive, my new one, and I'm gonna wait till later to hook it up. But now I'm going to hook up my SATA power. Now I know you're not going to be able to see this because this is behind here, but I'm just going to there. And now SATA power to my OptiDrive. Here. My head's probably going to get in the way here. I need to. So I have the HD audio routed through here, and it's just going to plug in right there, and then that can just sit there. So now I have to hook up the motherboard speaker and all the other front I/O. First, the motherboard speaker goes here. So let's go. And the motherboard speaker is installed. It's easy as that. Now I have the rest of them to do, and there's no point at all of me actually recording this because my hand's going to be in the way completely. So I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be back. Okay, so practically the last bit of the build is explaining these are my blue LED strips to match the blue fans on the front and all the blue on my motherboard. As you can see, I have it routed through here around this fan. One is going to go along the bottom like that, pushing light up here, and the other one is going to go up along the back, pushing light across. So that should give it a good glow inside. So I'll do that off camera and I'll show you a video of it all lit up in a few minutes, I guess. Oh, and have the power switch, power LED and everything like that hooked up now.